Hello everyone, my name is Jasco and we're going to continue our easy guitar activities today by playing the song House of the Rising Sun with some of the chords that we've learned. This song is an old traditional song. A lot of people know the Animals version from the 60s. That's probably the most popular recorded version that there was. So we're going to use the chords A minor, C, D, F, and E to play this song. House of the Rising Sun has a timing of 6/8. That means that we're going to have 6 beats on each chord. And we're going to divide this chord progression. It's going to be a repeating chord progression. We're going to divide it into 4 phrases or 4 musical sentences. So the first phrase is A minor for 6 beats. Then C for 6 beats, D for 6 beats, and F for 6 beats. That's the first phrase of House of the Rising Sun. The second phrase of House of the Rising Sun is going to be A minor, then C for 6 beats, then E for 12 beats, or 2 measures. So E will be twice as long as any of the other chords that we've done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. When we get to the third phrase, it's going to be exactly the same as the first phrase. A minor, C, D, F. Now we're on the last phrase of the song. We'll have A minor for 6 beats, E for 6 beats, back to A minor, back to E, then A minor, and the whole thing repeats. So that chord progression just continues to repeat for the entire song. There's no changes in the chord progression. When we're playing this, we could strum it like I just did. We could also finger pick it, or we could use a pick to get individual notes. So if I'm going to finger pick it, what I'll do is a pattern that sounds like this. And so forth. So that pattern has 6 pick strokes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then the next chord. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'm playing thumb on the lowest note of the chord. And that could be on the A string. For an A minor or a C chord, that'll be A string. Then I'm playing index finger on the G string, middle finger on the B string, ring finger on the high E string, back to middle finger on the B string, and index on the G. So when my thumb plays, that's the beginning of each chord. My thumb only plays once on each chord. Then I change to a C. My thumb will play the same thing, A string, then G, B, high E, B, G. When I go to a D chord, the lowest note of that chord is the D string, so my thumb's going to shift from the A string over to the D string. But the other fingers stay on the same string. For this picking pattern, my index finger is always on the G, middle finger is always on the B, ring finger is always on the high E. That's not a rule for every picking pattern, but just for this one. F is going to be just the same as D. It's a 4-string chord. Our low note is the 3rd fret of the D string. So my picking is just the same as it was for the D chord. The only other chord in the song, E, is a 6-string chord, so my thumb's going to be on the low E string. I won't play the A or the D strings. So low E string, G, B, high E string, back to B string, back to G string. So if I was to play the whole song once through with that picking pattern, it would sound like this. Another option is you can use a pick and basically play just the same thing but with a pick instead of fingers. So I could play on the A minor chord, that's A string, G string, B string, high E, B string, back to G string. Same thing for C. On D, remember we've got to switch the bass note, so we're playing D string as the bass note. On F, same thing. And then on E, we've got to play the low E string, then skip 2 strings, then G string, B, high E, B, back to G string. So when you're playing with a pick, you've got some more options. Do you pick down or do you pick up for each string? You could do all down picks. You could do all up picks. Or you could alternate down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, up. What I like to do on this song, if I'm going to use a pick on it, is I'll play 3 down strokes when my hand is physically moving down. Then I'll start the second half of the picking pattern and play 3 up strokes. So I'm kind of conserving motion. Down, 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 up, up, up. So let's get a close-up of my picking hand for finger picking and using a pick. Here's a close-up of my picking hand doing the finger picking pattern I talked about. Here's a close-up of my picking hand using a pick for this picking pattern. The first way I talked about was doing all down picks. That would look like this. Second way that you might practice is using all upstrokes. That looks like this. A third possible way you could practice this is alternating down, up, down, up. And then the fourth way that I suggested was 3 down picks, 3 up picks. you've got several different ways to pick this song. Which way should you do? Well, that's really up to you. You want to do the way that's the most comfortable for you. If you're playing using a pick, then obviously one of the pick methods. If you're playing using your fingers, then obviously use the finger picking method. The other question to ask yourself is, are you trying to get better on guitar, or do you just want to play the song? If you're just learning the song, pick whichever method works the best for you and stick with that. If you're trying to improve your guitar skills, you might want to practice with your fingers and practice with the pick, and maybe practice several of the different picking options, because each one of those that you practice will improve your skill with your picking hand in a slightly different way. So have fun with this, and we'll see you next lesson for some fun, easy guitar activities. Thanks a lot. Be sure to hit like and subscribe, and hit the bell next to subscribe if you want to be alerted to my future lessons. Thanks.